I know when they came to the Americas, they said lost 120 million people. They say there was like 180 million here. And smallpox, when they brought it in, the Europeans, they took out 120 at least. America, it's called the American Holocaust. It gives you the numbers. So this is it's talking about then, and it's also talking about now in the Americas too. Go ahead, Sister Micaiah.
Another thing is this. In reading these historical accounts of what got these people destroyed, and then you see that history is repeating itself
all over again.
Because people aren't reading this word, or if they are reading it, they're on the devil's side.
Maybe that,
they're
or
running things.
Some are, but some just don't understand. They haven't been convicted. I found that out. A lot of people here right now, they're doing out of what? Ignorance.
I'm saying as far as the powers that be.
They know. They know.
This is talking about the things that will destroy a nation.
Yeah. Well, what are nations? What are building blocks of nation? People.
Families.
Yeah. So when the families are destroyed, the nation's destroyed. Why do you think they don't want people to multiply? They want to destroy nations. Go ahead.
Nahum 3 verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot.
Yes.
The mistress of witchcraft.
The mistress of what?
Witchcraft.
How many of our women right now call themselves witches? They have no clue what's going to happen to them. That torture and torment in the next kingdom is forever. He's going to rip you apart. Demons are going to rape you. They're going to rip you apart. When you got that spirit, you get in the next world too. But it ain't going to be the way you want it. That's another reason I want to do that young man's testimony on the Sabbath. It ain't going to be the way you want it. That world that you can't imagine. Keep reading, please, Sister Micaiah.
Okay. I'm still on verse 4. Nahum chapter 3, verse 4. That sells nations through her whoredoms.
That sells them through what?
Her whoredoms.
What has America done? Isn't America called the daughter of Babylon, the whore of Babylon, that sits on many waters? Why? She sells nations through her whoredoms. Did not they come and try to go to Africa and say, we'll give you 60 million if you put the rainbow flag up and if you promote this? Man, what did the Africans tell them? Y'all done lost your cotton, your picking, and your mind. We got nothing. Keep your money. We're not going to tear our nations up where we don't have no more people born and all of this because y'all want to push that agenda. Keep your money and send them packing back. Now, I'm proud of them because their ancestors did a lot of those things. But now they're even coming out of that. That's telling me they're coming to the light, too. It's a beautiful time. Go ahead.
Okay. It says...
Book of Nahum, chapter 3.
I'm still on verse 4.
Verse 4, go ahead.
That sells nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts.
And what? Families. What's coming across the border? Families. They tell the adults, you got to do what? Stay, and the children go where? We'll take the children. But then when they get here, what happens? A lot of things happen where the families are sold through the whoredoms and they do it what? Witchcraft. They do a lot of chanting. There's a lot of prayers.
A lot of deception. That's also a part of witchcraft.
Verse 5.
Behold, I am against you, says Yahuwah Sabaoth, and I will discover your skirts upon your face.
So what does he mean, I'm against you?
That's not what he's doing right now.
And I'm going to discover your skirts. When you lift a skirt up and you put it over their face, this is what this means. Imagine, ladies, lift your skirt up, put it over your face. Now you can see the private parts. Now he can show everything they do. There will be no stone unturned. Their skirts are lifted.
They're being exposed.
They're being exposed. And they're embarrassed, and that's why they want to take TikTok down.
Yeah.
Because now they've been exposed because their skirts are totally lifted. Matter of fact, he just lifted them. He put nails on them and nailed them to the wall. They can't even let them down. They can't even let them down.
For real.
Go ahead, Sister Micaiah.
And I will show the nations your nakedness.
You're gonna show
the kingdoms your shame.
He's showing America's nakedness. He's showing their shame. They're over there saying, oh, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give emergency stuff to these people over here that we're bombing ourselves. Wait a minute. You the ones putting this on the people, but yet you're of a double tongue because you're sending them goods. You see how they play both sides? Just like the Rothschilds who created a banking system. They fund both sides of the war. Does it sound familiar? And who's the people? Sir Rothschild. What is he? Ish. Do y'all get what's going on? Are y'all picking this stuff up? That's why he's discovering their naked. He's putting their skirts over their head and showing everything they do. They play two sides. But the Lord is showing you they're on one side, and that's Satan's side. Go ahead, please, Sister Micaiah.
Nahum chapter 3, verse 6. And I will cast abominable filth upon you and
Yes.
make you vile.
Yes.
And will set you as a gazing stock.
Yes.
And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon you shall flee from you and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for you? Are you better than Populus? No, that was situate among the rivers that had the waters round about it, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was from the sea. Cush and Mizraim were her strength, and it was infinite. But Put and Levine were your helpers.
Yes.
Yet was she carried away.
So no matter how much power you had, even though you had seas that was way off where people couldn't even get to the shores, all this stuff we had, but guess what? She was still taken away just like America will be. Keep reading, please.
She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets.
Yes.
And they cast lots for her honorable men. And all her great men were bound in chains.
So this is when a lot of our people were taken into slavery again. Every time we sinned and went against our Father, what happened? We went into slavery. Go ahead.
You also shall be drunken. You shall be hid.
We're going to be what?
Drunken and hid.
So he said that we're going to be drunken. Now, he's not talking about with wine. He's saying we're going to be spiritually drunk. Then we're going to be what?
Hid.
That's Psalms 83, verse 1. Did he not say in Psalm 33, verse 1, it says, and consulted with thy what? They consult against thy what? Hidden ones. These are the hidden ones. We've been called black, colored, Negro, African American, every name. Why? Because we've been hidden.
Yes.
And since we were spiritually drunk, we didn't know we were. But now we're sober. We're on our feet. We're talking. We're walking. Let's keep going, please.
You also shall seek strength because of the enemy.
Yes.
All your strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first ripe figs. If they be shaken, they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater.
Yes.
Behold, your people in the midst of you are women.
The people are what?
Women.
Go ahead.
The gates of your land shall be set wide open unto your enemies.
Yes.
The fire shall devour your bars.
It says, in the midst of you, it says, behold, your people in the midst of you are women. And the gates, isn't that 20 women every brother and sister? Right now, in the midst of this city, daughter Babylon, the Lord says that he was going to make it where the women didn't have their men. And there'll be more women than the men. And when you read these scriptures, they come to life. Let's keep reading. 13.
And verse 14, it says, draw waters for the siege, fortify your strongholds, go into clay and tread the mortar, make strong the brick kiln.
Yes.
There shall the fire devour you. The sword shall cut you off. It shall eat you up like the cankerworm. Make yourself many as the cankerworm. Make yourself many as the locust.
Come on now.
You have multiplied your merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoils and flies away.
So that's deep. He says they've done what? They've multiplied. Now this is symbolic of America. You multiply your merchants as stars of the heaven. Look at all the different merchants, China, Japan, all these different places we just barter and trade with. But guess what? They've all turned on America. Everybody has turned on her. Let's keep reading. And Jeremiah 51:14 says that America going to be filled with men like what? Caterpillars. These cankerworms. They're going to morph. Let's keep reading, please.
Verse 17, it says, your crowns are as the locusts and your captains as the great grasshoppers which camp in the hedges in the cold day. But when the sun arises, they flee away.
Yes.
And their place is not known where they are.
Yes.
Your shepherds slumber, O king of Asher. Your nobles shall dwell in the dust. Your people is scattered upon the mountains, and no man gathers them.
None.
There is no healing of your bruise.
Yeah.
Your wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of you shall clap the hands over you. For upon whom has not your wickedness passed continually?
We get judged by everything we do, folks. We got to know this. All praises. So we're learning here that just like Nineveh was destroyed, there was parallels to America all the way through that. And this is why we're reading these scriptures to give you guys understand. We know that the capital of Nineveh was what? Assyria. We're going to read Jasher, on the book of Jasher, and we're going to go, we're going to read 81, chapter 81, 40 through 42. So let's go to the book of Jasher. Where we're reading from, All right. Spirit, somebody asked that question. We're reading from the Sefer. For those who ask where we're reading from the book of Jasher, but we're in the Sefer. And I'm going to put the link up for everybody who doesn't have one. I'll put a link up so you guys can go right there and get a discount, Sefer. And this is what we're reading from. We're actually reading the book of Jasher. And Jasher 81. And I'm going to read 40 through 42. The book of Jasher, 41 through 42. And Yahuwah ordered an angel to take him. Well, I need to read up a little further, so I'm going to read 39. And Yahuwah manifested to the children of Israel his wonders in Egypt and in the sea by the hand of Moses and Aaron. And when the children of Israel had entered the sea of Mitzrayim, the Mitzrayim, or the Egyptians, came after them, and the waters of the sea resumed upon them, and they all sank in the water, and not one man was left excepting Pharaoh, who gave thanks to Yahuwah and believed in him. Therefore Yahuwah did not cause him to perish in that time with Egypt. Why did he cause the Pharaoh to perish? Now, he was over the armies, but he gave thanks to the Most High. You understand? Because when you read this account, these people that went out, we was in the wilderness for literally 3 days. And after 3 days, this is when the Egyptians came out after us. And they was like, y'all supposed to return, or y'all not coming back. And then Moses told them, we're not coming back. You know, the Lord is delivering us. So they got angry. They got angry and decided, you know what? These are slaves or whatever. We're going to go after you. But the Pharaoh had repented. But his soldiers, they slaves. They wanted people. They did not repent. So the Lord ended up taking him by a lock of his hair and taking him and throwing him into Nineveh. And he ended up reigning over Nineveh for a little while. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of account of the Pharaoh of Egypt. He ended up reigning over Nineveh for a while after this account. And when the children of Israel entered into the sea of Mitzrayim, the Egyptians came after them, and the waters of the sea resumed upon them. And they all sank in the water, and not one man was left excepting Pharaoh, who gave thanks to Yahuwah and believed him. Therefore Yahuwah did not cause him to perish in that time of Mitzrayim. And Yahuwah ordered an angel to take him from amongst the Egyptians, who cast him in the land of Nineveh, where there it is right there. And he reigned over it for a long time. And on that day, Yahuwah saved Israel from the hands of Egypt. And all the children of Israel saw that the Egyptians had perished, and they had beheld a great hand of Yahuwah, which had performed in Egypt and in the sea. We're reading 2:42, is it? So, what do you get out of that right there, Sister Micaiah? What do you see there?
So basically, it's showing how the Most High, once again, even though he brought plagues, again, you see the leader, Pharaoh here, whose heart was initially hardened. Right. And that's the reason the plague was brought on them.
That's right.
Now he's repentant. So the Most High had mercy on him and did not kill him, but actually put him in a position to rule over Nineveh for a long time. Isn't
that something? He brought judgment on them, and even at the hand of those people, you understand who he persecuted, he ended up putting them back over the city of Nineveh. And so saying that, now we know a lot of different inhabitants at this time were different people now because the children of Israel were gone. But he ended up ruling there. We're going to also read Jasher 10, 31 through 33. Go to the book of Jasher. And then this time we're going to read 10. And I'm going to read 31 through 33. 31 through 33.
This is just a little history of how the city of Nineveh was established, I believe.
Oh, okay, no problem. Go ahead and read, please.
It says, and the sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Arpachshad, Ludi, and Aram, and they built themselves cities and called the names of all their cities after their names. And Asher, son of Shem, and his children and household went forth at that time, a very large body of them. And they went to a distant land that they found, and they met with a very extensive valley in the land that they went to. And they built themselves 4 cities, and they called them after their own names and occurrences. And these are the names of the cities which the children of Asher built: Nineveh, Resen, Kalak, and Rechoboth. And the children of Asher dwell there unto this day.
Oh, praises. So Nineveh was actually inhabited by Asher. I thought it was
the sons of Shem.
Sons of Shem. All praises, all praises. Okay, so
now I had also seen where, like, in doing some research, it was saying that Nineveh wasn't that far from Babel either. You know.
All praise. Let's go to Exodus. Let's see, chapters, it says 7 through 10.
The 10 plagues.
Okay, why does it say 7 and 10? Okay. We're going to Exodus chapter 7. So we need to understand about these plagues here in darkness, Exodus chapter 7. So what we're going through this is to go a little bit over the darkness that was going on. And I believe you got 7 and 10. All right, let's see here. That's not, oh no, that's not right here. Hold on. 7 and 10, let me see. What did you say?
I'm going to look it up real quick.
Okay, I thought. All right, folks, I do apologize.
Something wrong here.
Yeah, something's not right there. That's not the one I wanted. I think it was 12. I think it's chapter is 12. 1 second here. 1 second. Let me check something out. Okay. This is how we do. We got these lessons and we put them together. That's why we always check things.
Exodus, 10:23.
Yeah, that's not right. Okay, hold on. Darkness. Rook 46:2. We got that. 1 second.
Yeah, Exodus 10:23.
Okay, 1 second here. Okay. Exodus 10:23. Let's go there. All right. I gave you another precept there. That was. Let's see here. Okay, no problem. All right, we're going to Exodus 10:23. All right, let's go here, please. All right, Exodus chapter 10. Let's see here. 23. So another nation rose up in the place of David. Okay, I'm going to start at the beginning, please. Exodus chapter 10, we'll start at 1. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the heart of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him, and that you may tell in the ears of your son and your son's son what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that they may know, that ye may know how that I am Yahuwah. And Moses and Aaron came unto Pharaoh, and said unto him, Thus says Yahuwah Elohai of Avrim, How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring locusts on your coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth, that they shall eat the remnant of which is escaped, which remains is Shalakia, and they shall eat that the remnant of that which escapes, which remains unto you from the hill, and they shall eat every tree which grows for you out of the field, and they shall fill your house, and the houses of all your servants, and the house of all Mitzrayim, which neither your fathers nor your fathers' fathers have seen since the day that they were upon the earth until this day. And he turned himself, and he went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants said unto him, How long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the man go, that they may serve Yahuwah Elohim. Know you that not that Mitzrayim is destroyed? And Moses and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh. And he said unto them, Go, serve Yahuwah Elohim, but who are they that shall go? And Moses said, We will go with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, with the flocks and with the herds will we go, for we must hold a feast unto Yahuwah. And he said unto them, Let Yahuwah be so with you, and I will let you go and your little ones, and look to it, for evil is before you. Not so. Go now, ye that are men, and serve Yahuwah, for they that for that ye desire. And they went, then they were driven out of Pharaoh's presence. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, Stretch out your hand over the land of Mitzrayim, for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Mitzrayim, and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail has left. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Mitzrayim. And Yahuwah brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night, and it was morning And it says, and when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. Verse 14. This is Exodus 10, verse 14. And the locusts went up over all the land of Mitzrayim and rested in all the coasts of Mitzrayim. Very grievous were they before them. There was no such locust as they, neither after them shall be such. So there was so many locusts, it had never happened like that on earth. And the Lord said, it'll never be like that again. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. They did not eat every herb. It says, and they did eat every herb of the land, and all of the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And there remained not any green thing in the trees, or in the herbs, or in the field, through all the land of Mitzrayim. Then Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron in haste, and he said, I have sinned against Yahuwah Elohim and against you. Now therefore forgive, I pray you, my sin only this once, and entreat Yahuwah Elohim, that he may take away from me this death only. This is deep. And he went out from Pharaoh and entreated Yahuwah. So, he went out, okay, I'll pray for you. I know you're hard-headed, but I'm going to pray for you. And Yahuwah turned a mighty strong west wind, which took away the locusts and cast them into the Red Sea. And there remained not one locust in all the coasts of Mitzrayim. But Yahuwah hardened the Pharaoh's heart so that he would not let the children of Israel go. So the Lord kept hardening his heart, because the Lord knows, in this case, he just wanted to show his power in the Pharaoh. So he was doing this for a reason. Mm-hmm. He raised him up so that the world could see his power. But Yahuwah hardened Pharaoh's heart so that, yes, I got it. So he would not let the children of Israel go. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, stretch out your hand towards the heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Mitzrayim, even darkness which may be felt. So this darkness was not just a regular darkness. This is the darkness that may be what? Felt. I'm going to ask you a question. When you didn't have the laws, when you were in darkness, did you not feel that darkness? All this time y'all been walking around in darkness, dealing with demons and spirits. This is not something you feel? You can feel the darkness. Look at the movie Get Out. That guy was dripping down in such deep darkness, just like the three cubby holes when people go, when they pass this earth and they go to places to rest. One place is beautiful with springs and gardens. Another place is what? Beautiful, not as quite. That's for those who never denied the Lord, but never was with him. But the prophets say the other one was full of darkness. Mm-hmm. It was so deep, it's like it encompassed, like it was holding them. That's how deep that darkness is. This is what holds on to us. This is the darkness that's in you when you don't have that light. You don't have the Torah. We keep reading. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, stretch out your hand. 22. And Moses stretched out forth his hand towards the heavens, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Mitzrayim 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light where?
In their dwelling.
In their what?
In their dwelling.
Where's our dwelling today? This is the dwelling. This is where the Most High works at you. Okay, the light has to be within you. That's that lamp that you got to be full. Get this. 23, they saw not one. 24. And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, go ye, serve Yahuwah only, let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. And Moses said, you must give also sacrifice in the sending smoke offerings, that we may sacrifice unto you, Elohim. Our cattle also will go with us, and there shall not a hoof be left behind. For thereof must we take to serve Yahuwah Elohim, that we know not with what we must serve Yahuwah until we come thither. So until we get there, we don't know what he wants us to do. But Yahuwah hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh turned unto him, get you from me, take heed yourself, see my face no more, for the day, Shalakia. It says, for that day you see my face, you shall surely die. And Moses said, you have spoken well. I will see your face again no more. Now, when you read into the King James and all, it talks about, and I believe it's the King James where it talks about when the people died after 3 days, that we buried a lot of our people. That's the scriptures I was looking for right here. When we buried our people after 3 days, we buried a lot of our people. I thought this was it, but this is not it. So saying that, when these 3 days of darkness came on the earth, we ended up burying a lot of our relatives the next day. You understand? When we buried our relatives, it was because they did not have light in them. Since they did not have light in them in their dwellings, a lot of them died of the fear of other things, the plagues that came. That's why he said, get out of Babylon, don't do what they do, or you're going to take on what? The plagues. So they took on their plagues. So we buried so many of our people. This is the same thing that's happened in the 3,000 years we've been without the what? Law. Yeah. We buried so many of our people because they've been in what? Darkness. Just like they were back then. So that darkness that prevailed over them then is the same situation that's prevailing over us now, but it's a spiritual darkness. That is the New Testament. Okay, let's see here. Let's go to
Revelation 16.
All right, let's see here. Okay, let's see. I got the
Revelation 16.
Yeah, but where you see it? Oh, come on, sweetheart. Look here. We just finished this, right?
No, we just finished that.
Okay, so Jonah.
I already said that.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Revelation 16.
Okay, that's the one we get next. Okay, all praises. All right, let's go to Revelation 16:10, please. Revelation 16:10. We'll just give you guys some precepts to relate to. Revelation 16:10. It says here, and the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness. His kingdom was full of what?
Darkness.
So it's talking about a spiritual thing. His kingdom is going to be full of darkness. You know, darkness, when we're going to read the Baruch, means no laws. And keep reading. It says, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain. So, something you want to add to that, Sister Micaiah?
Well, no, it references Shemath, which is
Exodus 22 and 22.
What we just read about Egypt, where the thick darkness covered Egypt for 3 days.
Yes. Okay. Let's go to Baruch, 2nd Baruch, 46, 1 and 3. We'll go to book Baruch. That's his 2nd Baruch here. Now, who is Baruch? Baruch was Jeremiah's secretary. He's the one that gave us the Sefer. So let's go there to Baruch. 2nd Baruch, that is. One moment. All righty. Obadiah Baruch. 2nd Baruch. 2nd Baruch, I wanted to read this here, 46, 1 through 3. All right, we're in 2nd Baruch, chapter 46, 1 through 3. I'm going to just read the whole thing. And my son and the elders of the people answered and said unto me, has El Elyon humiliated such a degree as to take you away from us quickly? Because Baruch found the writings of the temple. For a long time, just like our people had the New King James, we didn't have our books. We didn't have the Apocrypha. We didn't have Dead Sea Scrolls. We didn't have the Pseudo. We didn't have the cipher. We had none of our books. So the people were like, can you read to us? So he ended up reading, and I think it was 5 days or so, he read to the people. And when he read to the people, they were like, wait a minute. We didn't know we were sinning, just like we didn't know we were sinning. So they started crying, and they begged Baruch, and this is the conversation they had with him, because he told them he had to leave them. My son and the elders of the people answered and said unto me, has El Elyon humiliated us to such a degree as to take you from us quickly? And truly, we shall be in what? Darkness. And there shall be no what? Light to the people who are left. So what is darkness? Darkness is no law, no Torah, no oil in your lamp. If there's no oil in your lamp, just like he just said, there will be no light to the people who are left. Are we not the people who are left? Are we not the remnant? Let's keep reading. For we again shall seek what? The Torah. Or who will distinguish for us between what? Death and what, Sister Micaiah?
Life.
What does that, Sister Micaiah?
The Torah is life.
Yes.
If you live without the Torah, you in darkness and death.
You do not have that's why the Lord said, if you don't know the first 5 books of the Bible, which is the Torah, you know none of my ways. Once you learn the laws and start following, not the letter, but in spirit, now you're filling your lamp with oil. That darkness, that gross darkness is when we don't have the Torah. Let's keep reading.
Understand that in this passage here, our people have been warned in Jeremiah, the previous book, and they did not take heed. So now they're in captivity, surrounded, living in a kingdom of darkness.
No law. That means that kingdom has no laws. Okay, let's keep reading. And I said unto them, therefore, El Elyon, I cannot resist. Nevertheless, there shall not be wanting it to Israel a wise man, nor a son, get this, nor a son of the Torah to the seed of Jacob. So he says that the light will persist But it's only going to persist in who? Those who follow the Torah. You should be doing this in the spirit. Now, we just went through Paul's letters, how Paul said we're not a letter of the law. We went and showed how Paul was a stumbling block. But later, Paul explained you do follow the law, but you do it in what? The spirit. And then he broke down all the things of sin. We did it in our last lesson. So what he's talking about, there will be no light because there's no law. Let me keep reading. But only prepare your hearts that you may obey the Torah and be subject to those who in fear are what? Wise and understanding, and prepare your souls that you may not depart from them.
Yes.
This is what we got to understand. When you follow that Torah and you are subject to this word in fear, because fear of the Lord is beginning of what? Wisdom. It says, then you become wise and have what? Understanding. And now since you got that, now you're preparing what? Your souls. What good is the man being bondage in this world, but what? Carried away in the next. That you may not depart from. Verse 6. It says, for if you do these things, good news shall come unto you, which I before told you. For I told you of, nor shall you fall into what? Torment, of which I testified to you before. But with regard to the word that I was to be taken, I did not make it known to them, nor my son. He didn't want his son and them to know that he was going to be taken away, because he understood that they were crying and they were going through it because they did not have that word. So the darkness over and over again, especially in the new, when you're dealing with the new King James, or the New Testament, it's simply that there's going to be 3 days or 3,000 years of no law. The two witnesses, they're going to prophesy, and on the third day, they're going to be risen up. The Ezekiel, the valley, dry bones, is 37, the same thing. And on the third day, they stand up. Why? Because now they got light in them. The darkness is gone. The spiritual drunkenness is gone. Where are we going, Sister Micaiah?
Isaiah chapter 8.
We're going to Isaiah chapter 8.
Verse 18.
Now, we want to talk about how people were consulting with what? Darkness. We're going to Isaiah chapter 8. The book of Isaiah.
One thing the book says and stresses throughout
all the
is
time
how the Most High deals with you according to your ways.
Yep.
Our people were drawn to darkness.
Drawn to it. They still are today. That's why a lot of our witches, women telling they're witches. A lot of these men are doing voodoo and tarot cards, necromancy.
I'm saying they warlocks.
You know, some of their warlocks and all of this stuff. Not understanding they're speaking nothing but death on themselves. They're the walking dead. They don't even exist in the new kingdom. Isaiah 8, 18 through 22. Sister Kai, go ahead and read. Isaiah 8, 18 through 22.
It says, behold, I and the children from Yahuwah has given me are for signs and for wonders in Yasharel from Yahuwah Sabaoth, which dwells in Mount Zion.
Yes.
And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits.
This is a lot of people. Hey, can I give you a reading? You want these tarot cards? Hey, the ancestors. My ancestors told me that. The ancestors are dead. They can't tell you nothing. That's demons talking to you. Your ancestors can't speak. You don't believe me? Go ask Samuel. See what he did to Saul.
And that's why they're called familiar spirits. They make you feel like you know them.
There, you say it one more time.
That's why they're called familiar spirits. They come in that form like you know them.
They'll act like they're your family members so that they can trick you. So you guys got to understand the wild. That's why you say you can be wise as what? A serpent, but gentle as a lamb. See, the snakes are feeding you this witchcraft and tricking. They're the ones who put in the books, and then they'll tell you, oh, just do some. So, if you do yoga, and put the fingers, and then they make everything look like it's fun, and it's it's no big deal. Not understanding, man, you're doing nothing but killing your soul. You're going to be carried away in the next world. You sitting there doing tarot cards, witchcraft, fortune telling, voodoo, and then a lot of people talking about they doing divination, root work, or they're root workers. Mm-hmm. I'm going to the root man. I want to know my future. Well, the Lord says, no man knows what tomorrow's going to bring. Only He knows. So why you want to go to divination? See, this is stuff that destroyed our people. Keep reading, please, Sister Micaiah.
All right, I'm on
Isaiah 8.
Isaiah 8, verse 19. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their Elohim?
Should they not seek the who?
Their Elohim.
Samuel said, Saul, why did you wake me? He said, well, I wanted to know because the Lord ain't with me. Since you didn't go to the Most High and you went to a fortune, not only you gonna die, but your children gonna die. Folks, when you go to these familiar spirits, you they just put on you. You wonder why your children going through something. Why they acting weird in the house. Why they doing certain things. Because you let these spirits come in, these Nephilim spirits, you let them come into your home because you invited them. And now your babies are going through it.
Yep.
And now you going through it because of them.
It says, for the living to the dead, to the Torah and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
There's no what in them?
No light.
This is the darkness that we've been talking about. When you speak contrary to the law, you're not following it, you're not doing right, you're not doing what? That's why people perish, because there was no light in them. They was full of darkness.
And then look what he just said at the end of 19.
Keep reading.
He said, should not these people be seeking unto the Most High?
Should they be?
Why is the living seeking out the dead?
Let's say that again.
Why is the living seeking out the dead?
Yeshua said, I didn't come for the dead. I came for the living. So what you doing seeking the dead for?
Okay.
They can't make one hair white or gray. They can't add one stature to your height. Only the Most High can give the increase. So why are you going to them for increase when all you getting is decrease? So now you build a sepulcher. You digging your own grave and you don't even know it. You're the walking dead. Keep reading, please, Sister Micaiah.
Verse 21. This is Isaiah chapter 8, verse 21.
Yes, ma'am.
And they shall pass through it, hardly be stead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their Elohim and look upward.
The Lord says, I made y'all walk 40 years in the wilderness. Your feet didn't go bare, your teeth was white. Why? I fed you manna to let you know that man does not live by bread alone, but by the word of what? The living Elohim. And this is what's going on. You need to look up, look up. That's why he says, when you see earthquakes, famine, and pestilence, all this stuff, don't be afraid. He says, what? These things must come to pass. Do what? Look up.
Yes.
And know that your salvation is near, as he's telling us right here. We need to look upward. We need to raise our chin. And we need to reverence the Most High. If you don't look up, if you don't do nothing, raise your eyebrows. If you raise your eyebrows, you're going to look up. Sister Mantika was telling us about that, remember?
Looking up.
Yeah, looking up. Yes, go ahead.
Verse 22, it says, and they shall look unto the earth, and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish.
Come on now.
And they shall be driven to darkness.
They're going to be driven to what?
To darkness.
Now y'all are starting to understand what darkness he's talking about now. The first darkness was a carnal darkness, folks. This is a spiritual darkness. They say you're going to be driven to when you don't follow that Torah, or you have no laws, you will have no light.
And understanding the previous verses over what we read, I'm just noticing this.
Go ahead.
This is where the Most High is saying he's going to put stumbling blocks before the house of Yesharel.
That's right. Because they don't want to believe anyway.
Exactly.
They want to believe that the laws are done away with. They want to believe that, it doesn't matter what we do. All we got to do is call on Jesus' name. And if we say that we believe on him, we saved.
Other than that, we can do whatever
we want to do. We can break all the laws, the Torah. We can do everything we want. Well, wait a minute. I thought sin was transgression of the law. For transgression of the law is sin. So if there's no laws, then how do you sin?
Make it make sense.
Come on, man. You got to make it make sense. Because what they're saying don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We're in, where we at now? Jeremiah 11. We're in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 11.
The two witnesses.
We're going to go a little bit about the two witnesses. Okay, let's go. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 11. Let's see here. Go to Jeremiah. Chapter
so just
11.
like back in the time of Jonah, the Most High had Jonah to send warning to the people before the destruction.
That's right.
Now he's raising up two witnesses, the northern and southern tribes.
That's right. He's
to do the same.
That's what he's doing. Jeremiah 11. All right. Now, I don't know why you got 14. Should we read this whole thing? 11. Jeremiah 11. 14. No. We're going to start with 1. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 11. And the word that came to Jeremiah from Yahuwah, saying, Hear ye the words of this covenant, and speak unto the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Where are you reading that?
Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 1. And I'm on 2 now.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading the whole, so people can understand it. I'm not going to just read. I know you said that, but I want to read the whole. Verse 3. And say unto them, Thus says Yahuwah Elohai of Israel, Cursed be the man that obeys not The words of what?
This covenant.
What is the covenant, Sister Micaiah?
That's the covenant he made with them on Mount Sinai.
That's right. That's
laws.
that.
He gave us a
He gave us that Torah, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Mitzrayim. For the iron furnace, saying, obey my voice and do them according to all which I command you. So shall ye be my people, and I will be your Elohim, that I may perform an oath which I have sworn unto your fathers, to give them the land flowing with milk and honey, as to this day. Then answered I and said, so be it, O Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto me, proclaim these words in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, saying, hear ye the words of this covenant and do them. So he's saying this over and over again. For I earnestly protested unto your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Mitzrayim, even unto this day, rising early and protesting, saying, obey what?
My voice.
Obey my voice. Yet they obey not, nor incline their ear, but walk everyone in the imaginations of the evil heart. Therefore I will bring upon them all the words of this covenant, which I commanded them to do. But they what? They did not do them. And Yahuwah said unto me, a conspiracy is found among the men of Judah and among the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They are turned back to their iniquities of their forefathers. What are we doing right now, Sister Micaiah? What have we been doing?
Back to the iniquities.
What have we been doing?
Turn back,
folks.
To the
this is symbolic.
Of the forefathers.
What number were we on? Okay, 10. We're on 10. It says, and they are turned back to the iniquities of their fathers, which refused to hear my words, and they went after other Elohims, other gods, to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant, which I made with their fathers. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. That's why we're in slavery. We was going through all of that stuff, alligator bait, being hung in a tree. We cried to him, but he did not hear our voice. Why? Because we had to go through these 3 days of darkness. We were spiritually drunk, not with strong wine, he told us. By doing that, we was breaking his laws. And so by we breaking his laws, he did not hear our voice. He did not even hear us. Let me keep reading. It says, verse 11.
12.
Verse 12. Then shall the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry unto Elohim, unto whom their officers, who they offer incense, but they shall not save them in all the time of their trouble. For according to the number of your cities were your Elohims, or your gods, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem have you set up altars, and the shameful thing, even altars to burn incense unto Baal. How many of our people right now will burn what you call sage? And a lot of them are moving the sage around, not understanding it opens portals to demons. And then they start burning these incense to who? Satan. 14. Therefore pray not for this people. What do you say, Sister Micaiah?
Don't even pray for them.
So you got people who doing, people say, well, they doing witchcraft and trickery. Pray for them, pray for them. No, the Lord say, my father say, if you doing witchcraft, if you doing fortune telling, if you doing necromancy, if you doing tarot cards, if you doing what they call yoga, if you doing caprolero, Baal worshiping, you doing all of that stuff that bring on spirits. He said, don't pray for these people. If you praying for them, who you against? You're against the Most High. Let me keep reading. Therefore, pray not for this people, neither lift up a prayer for them. Don't cry for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble. What has my beloved to do in my house, seeing she was wrought in lewdness with many? What does she mean, she? Who is she?
That's Yeshua.
That's Israel. She considered a female. That she's a bride. And the holy flesh is passed from you. Whoa. What he says passed from us?
Our holy flesh.
So this is not physical like the Old Testament. This is spiritual. He said that the holy flesh is passed away. This is deep. When you do evil, when does it pass away?
Right.
When does the holy flesh pass away? When you do what, Sister Micaiah?
When you do evil.
And then what else you do with it? You rejoice. That's when that flesh passes away. I'm not with you no more. Yahuwah called your name, a green olive tree, fair and goodly fruit. With the noise of a great tumult has he kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are what? Broken, because we are considered to be the natural branch. For Yahuwah Sabaoth that planted you has pronounced evil against you, for the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves to provoke me to anger and offering incense unto Baal. This is Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 18. And Yahuwah has given me knowledge of it, and I know it. And then, Shalaki, then you showed me their doings. But I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought up to the slaughter. And I knew not that they had devised devices against me, saying, let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may be what? No more remembered. Wow. Psalms 83, verse 1. You see that?
Well, this is what they was plotting against Jeremiah.
Well, I know. What I'm saying is, though, it's the same thing, though. It says that they cut him off. This is the thing they say. Now, Jeremiah heard this. He was pissed at them. Mm-hmm. You know, and he said some other stuff, too. But Yahuwah's a vote that judges righteously. But Yahuwah's a vote that judges righteously, that they try the mind and what? That they try the mind and the heart. Let me see your vengeance on them, for unto you have I revealed my cause. So who's saying this?
That's Jeremiah.
Jeremiah said, man, you Negroes,
go on and judge them.
You know, sitting there prophesying against me. Go ahead and cry. I don't even care no more.
Right.
You know, Moses and all these other prophets will pray for them. You know, he was pissed. Go ahead and do your judgment, Abba. Please do your judgment.
He saw the gross darkness they was in.
These people ain't got no light. I give it to them. You know what they told me when I read the book to them? We ain't gonna hearken. We ain't gonna listen to you.
Yeah.
We gonna do what we feel in our hearts.
And burned it in front of them.
Come on. Then how many times they burned it? Twice. They burned it twice. They burnt the word. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah of the men of Antioch. It says that seek your life, saying, prophesy not in the name of Yahuwah, that you die not by our hand. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah Sabaoth, behold, I will punish them, the young men. They shall die by the sword. Their sons and their daughters shall die by famine. There shall be no remnant of them, for I will bring evil upon the men of Antioch, and even the year in their visitation. All praise the Most High. We're 11.
Jeremiah 11. I want to go back here, though.
Go ahead.
To,
11:14.
Going back to the parallels between Old and New Testament.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Jeremiah 11, verse 16, at the end, where he says he's broken off the branches. That's why I think it's in Romans. It talks about us
the natural branches.
Right.
Be broken off.
Put back onto the tree.
That's right.
You know. But this time we're being adopted.
That's right. Well, because we've been taken off from the natural branch, but he's bringing us back to the natural branch.
Right, exactly.
We were in sin before. We had no light. But now that we're walking in the light, you understand, he's building us back. You know, Yeshua said, when I leave you, there'll be 2 olive branches in my hand, the northern and the southern tribes. When I come back, you'll be one. These are the 2 witnesses he's talking about. For 1,000 and some odd days, they'll prophesy. You know, they'll make the sea turn blood red. And it's when the Aaron stuck his wand in the water and it turned the sea blood red. They say they'll make the sun stop. Joshua, when we surrounded Jericho,
he had the sun. The next scripture.
All praises. Well, let's go ahead and
Revelation 11.
Okay, so what I want to say is he's talking about us. It says also that he would also make the sea. They bring fire from the heavens. Well, then Elijah he brought fire from the heavens, and it burnt up 2 armies. He's talking about the northern and southern tribes over a period of time. And on the 3rd day, they're going to stand on their feet. And when they stand on their feet, these other nations are going to be afraid. And this is where they are right now. But we're about to hear a shofar blow soon. We're going to read Revelation 11, 1 through 14. Putting bone to bone and flesh to flesh to give some understanding. Revelation 11, 1 through 14. The book of Revelation, chapter 11, 1 through 14. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. And the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of Elohim, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not. For it is given to what? The other nations. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot for 40 and what? 2 months. So That's the holy city of Jerusalem. Now, we know over here we got some holy cities, and we know over there in 70 AD, General Vashti put a slaughter of our people. And that's when Benjamin, Levi, and Judah ended up leaving Jerusalem over there, where now we know that there's bastards in Ashdod, and these people are there are not the original people. So he said it will be trodden down for a certain period of time. Verse 3, and I will give power unto my what? 2 witnesses. He's talking about the northern and the southern tribes. Get this. It says, I will give power to my 2 witnesses. They shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees. Now he's telling you who they are. These are the 2 olive trees, the 2 menorahs standing before Elohim on the earth. Now we know who the 2 olive trees are. We learn we read scripture. 2 olive trees are what? The northern and the southern tribes. Get this. And if any man will hurt them, fire will proceed out of their mouth. Elijah. Didn't Elijah say, Abba, if you're not real, fire won't come down to dissolve these men. Fire came down and took them out. Then the next king came. Hey, the next army came. The king wants you to come with him. He said, if I'm not a righteous man, the fire won't devour you. It came again. But the third one said, hey, I know you the righteous man. Please don't burn me up. And he didn't, and he went with him. So this is what it's talking about. It says fire will proceed out of, it says here, wait a minute. Any man hurt them, fire will proceed out of their mouth, devours their enemy. So right here, this is pretty deep, because when he did that, man, it said it would devour the enemy. Any man will hurt them. It says he must in this manner be killed. They have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of prophecy, of their prophecy. Who was that? He's for 3 years it didn't rain. That was Joshua. That was Joshua. For 3 years he prophesied it wouldn't rain. That was Elijah. There was Elijah. Elijah prophesied it wouldn't rain for 3 years, and it didn't rain. It says this. It says they will have power over the waters to turn them blood red. When Aaron stuck his staff in the water, it turned their blood red. And to smite earth with all types of plagues as often as they will. Did not Moses, we just read, smite the earth with all types of plagues, locusts, the lice, the frogs. They even had frogs in their bellies jumping up and down. You know what I mean? Then there was 10 plagues. The last one was against the Pharaoh, because they worshiped the Pharaoh as a living God. It says they will have power to smite as often as they will. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. This is the 3,000 years where Jacob's trouble has been. That's when the devil made war against us. These prophets were prophesying. They did these miracles. And after they did these things, that's when they started killing us off at a record number. We were numerous as the sands of the sea, but now we're just a remnant. This is what this is talking about. It says, and when they have finished their testimony, the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit will make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall be in the streets of the great city. Isn't this not the great city? Did not the Lord say, curses the man hung in a tree? How many times are people be hung in trees and they weren't allowed to move their bodies? Leave them, don't touch them. How many times did our people have been taken out and then they would leave their bodies in the streets? It's talking about America, that great city who sits on many waters, who's the daughter of Babylon, or the harlot, because the patron saint head that's on the Statue of Liberty is the same head that was in the brothels. They took the black woman's head off, put that on, and she sits on what? Many waters. It's talking about America. It says, and the body shall be in the streets of that great city. And then the Lord say, I'm going to take you by ships. I'm going to take you to Egypt, which is spiritually what? Sodom and Gomorrah.
And Mitzrayim.
And Mitzrayim, he says. Let's keep reading. And that body shall lay in the streets of that great city, which is called Sodom and what? Mitzrayim. It says, where also Yah was what? Crucified. This is pretty deep. Now, saying that, when he says crucified, who is his children? Who are his ones who represent? Who's the brand that's plucked out of a fire? We represent the Most High. So when they kill us and crucify us, they do it to him. That's why he calls us his precious what? Jewelry. Y'all getting this? All of this is spiritual, folks. It's carnal. Whenever you deal with this word, just like the Old Testament and the New Testament, one part is carnal, the other part is spiritual. When you read these words, some of it's carnal and the other part is spiritual. It's pretty deep. Verse 9, and they, go ahead and read, Sister Makai. I'll let you read the rest. Go ahead.
All right.
Verse 9, go ahead.
And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
What is a day to the Lord? 1,000 years. And 1,000 years is what? A day. How long was it ago since Yeshua left? 2,998 years. So since that time, Jacob has had what? Trouble. Moses did what he did when they sunk the staff in the water and turned the blood red. Joshua, he brought fire down. You understand? Excuse me, Elijah. Joshua stopped the sun for what? 36 hours. But it said after these miracles and after these things, we would be persecuted. And that there'll be a wrath against us. That the devil will be mad. And then he'll do battle against us. Can you read that part one more time, please, Sister Micaiah?
It says, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half.
That's 3,000 years. You hear me? Go ahead.
And shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
They will not be able to put in graves. And that's why people say, well, what are prophets' bodies? What, they dug them up? You said the bones will be scattered in the streets. This is deep. Let's go,
Verse
please.
10, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth.
And that's what they did. They sent gifts to each other. They still do it to this day. Every time one of us, they have indignation of one of us, or they take our land or our property. What do you think they happened when they were sitting there taking our land and our property, taking our gold and our silver? When they was tearing our mounds down here in America, tore down all our nice homes here. They were sending letters to each other, talking about how they was doing this stuff to us. They was rejoicing, not understanding they was building sepulchres for themselves. They were digging their graves. The Lord said, it's like putting a millstone around your neck if you mess with one of my little ones. That is a grave marker stone. Imagine putting a necklace on that and wearing it. Keep reading, please, Sister Micaiah. Revelation chapter 11, verse 13, is it?
Verse 11.
Verse 11, go ahead.
And after 3 days and a half, the Ruach Chaim, or the spirit of life.
What entered?
The spirit of life.
Right.
From Yahuwah.
Yes.
Entered into them.
Come on now.
And they stood upon their feet.
Now, we got to go to Ezekiel chapter 37. Oh, Father, can these bones live? Because we've been spiritually what? Drunk. In darkness, we've been dead. For 3 days, we've been dead. Then he put flesh to flesh. Sinews. And then the four winds went into it. And on the third day, they standed on their feet. And then you read further, Ezekiel 37, it's what? The whole house of Israel. This is what this is referring to, folks. The two witnesses. The northern and southern tribes. Let's keep reading, please.
It says, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
Come on now.
And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither.
We're going to hear a voice, and they know this. This is Ezekiel 38 and 39. And this is called the Feast of the Birds. This is when the Lord's going to pluck Israel out of that fire. He's going to blow a shofar, and he's going to say, come up hither. That is the true, they call it a rapture. We call it being taken. Swing low, sweet chariot, take me home. And that's what they're going to do. The chariot's going to carry us home to the windowsills. That's at Revelation 21, the new kingdom, with many mansions in it. Okay, keep reading, please. Sister
Verse
Micaiah.
12, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
This is what's going to happen. When we go, the Lord calls us an ensign. He says when we're taken, it's the end for them. So when they see us taken up, and I've had a vision, I saw a brother coming up, and I had another brother tell me today, he said, Elder, I had this vision. I said, what happened? He says, I was standing there, and all of a sudden, fire started hitting the earth, and I seen, a man shoot up, then another one shoot up, and then the Lord took me. I said, I had the same vision. Then we had, how many brothers and sisters had that same vision?
3 of y'all in
and these are the men.
Weeks.
Well, the men were having these visions together, having it together. The Lord is showing us how he's going to gather us out of the midst of the fire. This is what it's talking about. We are the two witnesses. Over 3,000 years, we've been talking about the Lord.